I'm going to fire this up with a bucket of lava, or I'm going to put a block down and be a total dope. 5 lava inside. Okay, so that should give it temperature. The temperature should start going up. Let's put in 2 aluminum. It didn't take my lava, huh? Alright. There's the lava in there. There's your temperature gauge. There's 1 bucket of lava, and you can see that these dudes are starting to fry, starting to melt. And the interface for Tinker's Construct is Smeltery. At first I thought it was just going to be a huge pain in the butt, but it's incredibly cool. There are the blocks I just put in there. I would suggest never setting foot inside here, because this is eventually going to be all molten. And I don't think these are real blocks. You should not try to break them. They're just graphical representation of what you're currently smelting. There we go. So that's cool. That looked like the aluminum. And the most critical thing I almost forgot about, we're going to have a casting table right there. And the casting table is what's going to do your casting, not surprisingly. You put it underneath a smeltery faucet hooked up to a smeltery drain. And in a moment, we should be able to start making casts of things. So it's funny, as I mentioned before, there's a reason why we did this. I just have so much junk. I'm going to keep my extra lava here. There's a reason why we cast out some stone versions of things. The way this works, it's currently got molten copper, aluminum brass, 2 ingots of aluminum brass. Not sure why the copper is being silly like that. I think I gotta throw in another. Yeah, we'll throw in 2 aluminum. It's so easy to get a mishmash of metals in here. But there are 2 ingots of aluminum brass. So the way this works is really kind of cool. I can take an item, like a stone rod, put it in the casting basin, pour aluminum brass on it, and it just made a brass cast of the rod. Now brass casts, if I want to make an iron rod, I would now put down this brass cast and pour the iron out. So kind of a brilliant little system. So I now have that. I really don't need my stone rod. I'll use it for a demo in a second here. I will now cast a stone axe head. Aluminum brass, away! So I now have a cast of an axe head, a pick head that is. The question is, what is in here? I thought I had my thing right. So there's still... So I have 3 ingots of molten aluminum brass, that's good. That means I can do my tool binding and make an aluminum brass cast of that. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So now each of these casts can handle can make metal versions of those items. That is pretty much how you set up a smeltery in Tinker's Construct, and how you set up the whole mod essentially. What I was going to say is, let's put this in your number 5 slot. This guy did a really good, Skyla I think is the modder. He did a really good job as you start to craft the various pieces. You start to get these books that explain how everything works together, all the different abilities, all the different components for all of your tools and weapons. Really fascinating. The cleaver, excavator, hammer, the really comical battle sign where you can smack a guy with the battle sign and throw him 40 blocks across the road. Yeah, pretty nice stuff. And then the other book that you get about mighty smelting gives you an idea how to instructions on how to build the smeltery, like I just showed you, and then what the different materials are. So aluminum brass is 3 aluminum and 1 copper, not 1 aluminum and 2 copper. So I'm going to have to throw enough aluminum in there to balance it out. Then I can cast a few more things. And here it's showing the casting process, and then grout is how to make the bricks, how to make the different components. He really did a beautiful job on these books. And it's just a gift. As soon as it detects that you're trying to build any of these tables, you get the materials in U book. As soon as you make your first seared brick, you get the mighty smelting book. So he helps you along the way. Really a good modder. Well, hi. I think this is a version of Tinker's Construct. It's a few versions, maybe one micro version earlier than where you could do a ingot cast. So what you do is you get a casting basin, and I've already poured 7 units in here. 9 units should make a block of aluminum brass. Should harden up into a block. And then if you want actual brass ingots, you can get them. But it's a little bit strange from what I was doing in my other mod pack. Compared to that, this is a little bit clunky, but definitely handy. Again, this is about the only way you can get 2 ingots per ore. And here's the controller. I currently have 2 ingots of aluminum brass and a few nuggets of copper. Now, you really got to get your recipes right, or this is just going to make you crazy. For example, if you put in 5 ores, you get 10 ingots worth of molten stuff, but you can only take out 9 ingots to make a block. Really the best thing you can do with this, just get your recipes right. But if you get stuck with lots of just a little bit of miscellaneous junk in here, I'd hate to lose 2 ingots of the aluminum brass. But if you do get stuck with a whole bunch of miscellaneous junk, you can just break the controller and put the controller back, and the goods will magically disappear. You'll lose an ingot or some nuggets, but you'll be able to start fresh. So it's really important to get your mixes just right, and it's definitely fun. I'll be showing you more of this in a bit, after being in an industrial world for a while. Both of my worlds have Tinker's Construct, so both of them have smelteries. Thought I would come in here quickly show you a few of the things the smeltery is handy for. Now, sand or glass can be put in there. Takes a little bit of time to melt down. And I added another casting basin, another faucet just now. And I have a few seared bricks left over, so I think I will store them nearby in case I need them. Now, the few things I'm going to show, first of all, is a couple interesting bonus items when you go into create weapons. One is a ball of moss, made out of 9 moss stone. Any weapon you add this to will actually repair itself. It's a very, very handy thing. Now for lapis, there's an interesting quirk. In order to give something fortune, which is not compatible with Silk Touch, you have to add a lapis block and a lapis stone. Let's see if this is alright, it's ready to go. So each unit of sand or glass that you put in there will dump out into a basin a single block of clear glass. Here's my tool station. I'm going to start pulling out some patterns. Gonna make a fortune pickaxe. So I need a pickaxe head cast, tool rod cast, and a tool binding cast. In fact, if you want to find that out, you go to the tool station, click on the type of item you're trying to make, and it will show you the patterns that you need. So, here's my 2 blocks of clear glass. So each unit of sand or glass will give you 1 block of clear glass, and clear glass is just an alternative. It doesn't have the little diagonal jaggy bits. It's just clear glass with the frame in between. The nice thing with clear glass is when you break it, you can pick it up again. It doesn't disappear off the face of the earth. So, anyway, if you're going to make a lot of clear glass, you'd better have a lot of casting basins, because it's going to take you a while to make a decent population of them. Now, let's see, for tools, I've got plenty of iron. Let me see, material cost 1, a half, and a half. So it tells you right here I'm going to need 2 ingots to make a complete iron pickaxe. So let's throw my 2 ingots in there. And then as soon as it's melted, iron takes a little bit higher temperature, so it takes a little longer to actually melt. But once it's melted, I should be ready to 3, 4, 5 slots. I'll make the head first. Melt, 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 will ya? I'm going to put some other materials in the chest while I'm waiting. The extra lapis I'll probably end up using. I'm only going to use 1 ball of moss right now for this tool. Although, actually, no. Auto repair is okay. Auto repair can go together with fortune. It's silk touch and fortune that are incompatible. So 2 ingots worth of molten iron. I'll pour my axe head first. Take that off the table. To put the tool rod, that takes a half. Take that off the table. Put on my binding, takes the other half. And this should be empty now, completely empty. Next thing I want to show you that's neat. In Hexxit, it's a reasonably low-tech world, so you gotta kind of strategize things a bit. One thing I'm going to show you is the Tinker's Construct Smeltery in the Hexxit world, as far as I know, is the only way to double your ores. Thanks, Mr. Creeper. I really needed to do some repairs. That's just what I needed. Hey, it blew my ass into the Smeltery. That's not good. Hang on, I'm working on it. Crikey. Alright, that was just totally rude. That is just freaking hysterical. A creeper blew myself into the Smeltery. And now you know, if you step into the Smeltery, you take damage. And there wasn't even any, there wasn't even anything bad going on. There wasn't any molten liquid in there. Well, that was just ridiculous. Alright, well, thanks for that demo, you freak of nature, wherever you went. That was just ridiculous. I wonder how he got in here. Must be some darkness somewhere that I haven't taken care of. Okay, that was funny. I got blown into the Smeltery by a creeper. So what I was saying was, if you put 9 blocks of copper gravel ore, any metal ore, in this world, your only option with the ores is to smelt it and get 1 ingot each. But in the Smeltery, you get 2 ingots each. You see, I put 9 ore blocks in there and get 18 ingots. Now, in this version, there isn't a cast to make ingots, so you have to do them 9 at a time and cast blocks. And each block, you can then split up into 9 ingots. So it's really, really pretty. I like the way it fills these up. So you will see that from 9 blocks of ore, it was gravel ore. But even so, from 9 blocks of ore, I got 2 blocks of copper, each one's worth 2 ingots. So you double your ores this way. That's pretty cool. Now what I wanted to show was how to make a tool. I'm looking for more critters, but safe enough for now. You pick the tool type you want. You put the parts on there that you intend to use. And I now have a reinforced 1 totally iron pickaxe, durability 324, mining speed of 6. 3 modifiers remaining is important. In order to modify a tool, you click the very first button, which is the anvil. Put your tool in there, put your modifier. If you can see I hover over it, moss will add auto repair. That's just cool. That's exactly what I wanted to. Now what I need to do is, I'm pretty sure for fortune you need a lapis block and a lapis. There you go. Luck is pretty much equivalent to fortune. Wondering why it says 10 over 450. Anyway, I now have luck, so if I look at it now, it's a self-repairing tool with luck. Just for an experiment, I'm going to see if I can modify it with even more luck. I don't really expect this to work. But as you recall, this tool had a total of 3 modifier slots available. Lapis 20 over 450, so that should be even more luck. Whether or not that added more luck, aka fortune, I don't know, but I will go test it out. Anyway, that was a few of the useful items here. This should be empty again. It's really important to only put as much material in here as you need. If you end up with lots of miscellaneous nuggets, you can just break the Smeltery controller and put it back, and those little dribs and drabs will disappear, and you'll be able to get the stuff you need again. So double your ores by putting them 9 at a time in the tank, and then casting 2 blocks. And sand or glass in the Smeltery will make clear glass. There's one other recipe, which is to make brownstone. You can put 1 nugget of tin in there, put a piece of gravel in the casting basin, and each nugget's worth of tin will make 1 piece of brownstone. And brownstone says you can run fast on it, so I guess it's useful for roads. But again, if you're going to cast 1 nugget at a time, I'm not seeing a huge speed increase, but maybe it's a little faster. But if you're going to cast 1 nugget at a time to make these, you're probably going to have a whole bunch of just casting basins. I'll come back to brownstone sometime when I figure out a really good purpose for it. So okay guys, there you are. How to modify it, make a tool, how to modify a tool, how to double your ores.